Hi, I'm Jo Pratt and I'm going to show you how to make a delicious fish pie with a simple twist, a crumble topping. It's ideal for all the family but also works really well as a dinner party dish. Now the base to most fish pies is a nice simple white sauce. I'm going to start this off by putting 75 grams of butter into a pan and just melt it. Now once the butter is melted and bubbling, I'm actually going to add 1 chopped onion. Now for traditional white sauces you'd go straight in with flour, but I'm adding onion to this just to soften it and take on all that lovely buttery flavour. So just cook this for a few minutes to soften but not colour. And I'm also going to add at this stage 1 bay leaf. Now I'm just going to add 50 grams of plain flour and just stir it in and let it cook for about 30 seconds. At this stage you'll just see that it starts to reach quite a thick paste-like consistency, which is ideal for making this roux-based sauce. Now the next thing I'm going to add is some white wine, and I have 150 millilitres here. Now you could use fish stock if you preferred, but I think the white wine works really nicely with all the fishy flavours in here. And it really doesn't matter if you're going to be giving this to children because you are cooking it enough for all of the alcohol to be cooked out. And it'll reach quite a thick, gloopy consistency, which means we are now ready to add some milk. So I've got here 200 millilitres of milk. You can always add more at a later stage if you need to. Just give that a good stir, and if it starts to go lumpy, you can use a whisk. But this one's absolutely fine, just give it a good stir until it starts to thicken, and then you just want it to simmer for a couple of minutes until you have a lovely thick white sauce. Now the beauty of fish pie is that you can use any ingredients you'd like to inside. Now for this one I've got some prawns, I've got some salmon and some scallops, making it quite an extravagant dish. It doesn't have to be too expensive, you can get these ingredients at a fairly reasonable price, and you could even use frozen if that's easier. But for children, if you don't want to use the prawns or the scallops, you could use extra fish, you could use more salmon or maybe a white fish such as cod or collie. So you just want to add these into this white sauce. So in they go. In with the salmon, it's just been cut up into big chunks with the skin removed, and then in with the scallops. And then give it a good stir, and you want to cook this just for a few minutes until the prawns change colour and the fish starts to cook through. It doesn't have to be completely cooked because it is going to go into the oven. Give it a good stir around to let that heat go all over the fish, and then leave it just to cook on its own for a few minutes. So this has just been cooking for a few minutes and it looks like these prawns have turned pink. So I'm now going to add the other ingredients, and I've got some chopped egg, which is a really nice thing to add to a fish pie. It's quite traditional and it makes it go further as well. So I've got 3 hard-boiled eggs that have just been roughly chopped. Give those a stir through. And some chopped dill. You could use parsley, but I quite like the flavour of dill in there. It goes beautifully with fish. Stir that around and then season it with some salt and pepper. So it's now ready to turn off the heat, and then we can make the topping. Now more often than not, for a fish pie, the topping will be mashed potato or even pastry. Now I'm going to do something really simple that has a great taste as well, and that's doing a crumble topping. Take a loaf of ciabatta bread, tear it into pieces and just put it straight into a food processor. And a small bunch of parsley, and then just whiz until you have breadcrumbs. And then to that, I have 50 grams of grated Parmesan cheese and about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And then just whiz together. And that's your crumble topping, much quicker than making mashed potato or rolling out pastry. So let's take our filling straight into a oven-proof dish. Now if you wanted to make this ahead of time, if it was for a dinner party or just for your family evening meal, you can get up to this stage with having your filling in a dish, and you can have your crumble topping already made. A couple of days in advance is absolutely fine. All you need to do is just remember to add about 10 minutes onto your cooking time. Then sprinkle over the top. And you can even try using different bread, but the ciabatta just makes it really nice and crunchy. And we've got plenty of crumbs here. Now your fish pie is ready to put into the oven on 200 or 180 fan, gas mark 6, for 30 to 40 minutes until the top's golden and the filling is bubbling up underneath. Now the fish pie is cooked, the topping is lovely and crumbly, and it's ready to serve. Now this would be enough to serve at least 4 portions. Let's get a plate. And you can serve it with a green salad or vegetable of your choice. And if preferred, you could also have some extra bread as well. But I think this crumble topping is just enough. And that smells fantastic. So there you have your fish pie with a crumble topping.